Okay, so let's talk about ability grouping. Today, like I told you, I'm going to talk about whether ability grouping is legitimate enough to be applied in school setting. So, of course, the big question we are trying to answer is, should ability grouping be used in school? As I proceed with this presentation, I'm going to briefly talk about what ability grouping is, then we'll talk about strengths and weaknesses, then I'll briefly analyze and make a conclusion to answer the question, then I'll also talk about how we can apply this to school. So first of all, what's ability grouping? It is a banding or streaming or setting students by their academic and behavioral level, meaning, of course, within school, high ability students will group up with high ability students, and low ability students will group up with other low ability students. It's simply that's what it is. There are many different types of ability groupings, such as cross grade ability grouping, cross subject ability grouping, within class ability grouping, between class ability grouping. There are many different types of them, but basically ability grouping is grouping up students based on their ability. So what are some of the strengths that we know of? Well, first of all, it's a lot of researchers have found out that it is actually beneficial for students' academic achievement. So when they are in the same group, they tend to do better job as group together, regardless of their academic ability level. Although high achiever, gifted like honor students and high achieving students tend to be benefited from this way more. So when they combine together, their works they achieve way more compared to the low ability grouping students. And it also it promotes democratic participation practice. So if you're mixing up the groups, like the high ability students with low ability students, the tendency we see in class is normally high ability students will lead, and low ability students are just either sitting there, do nothing, or passively work. And they even sometimes use the expression, I am helping my team. It's not like, this is not my project, it's their project, but I'm helping. So they have this passive, how do I say, perspective. But when you group up like low ability students together, or high ability students together, they know within group your classmates are not too much better than you are, so they are more relatively, they are more actively participate. They tend to voice themselves a little more. So it's a good democratic participation practice for the students. Furthermore, I mean, from there, because of that, it increases in educational opportunity. So, of course, if you are low ability student, you just sit there do nothing, then probably something that you probably don't learn a lot. You just sit there and just do whatever they told you to do. But when you are actively participating, you get to learn more. You're going to have to search up more. You want to know more. So they found that they are actually eventually increase educational opportunity. So in sum, this is the strength of ability grouping. Of course, there are weaknesses as well. It promotes unequal treatment from teachers. So some of the researchers found out when teachers are in class, they tend to pay more attention to high ability groups because they have such a low expectation for low ability students. When students ask a question, instead of giving them chance to think and grow, they just give them answer because teachers might think, I mean, they don't get it anyways. I'll just give them the answer and they can move on. So, teachers tend to give fewer feedback to students, less conversation with them. So eventually, it's going to discourage those low ability students, and discouragement in class will lead to, of course, not wanting to learn more or stop pursuing. So, it's not teachers intentionally do that, but they just somehow that's what happened. And once students lose their motivation to study, they're kind of gonna give up. They kind of shut off, and they just stop doing whatever they have to do. I personally have seen similar things in many other classes too. Another weakness will be their ability grouping will broaden the achievement gap. So high ability learners, high ability students will achieve more and more and more. Low ability group students are still going to achieve well compared to their individual ones, but eventually high achievers, high ability learners are going to learn this much at once, like this much, and low ability learners will just going to go like this much. And if this combine and gets, as it continues, the gap between high ability learners and low ability learners, low ability students are going to be, the gap is going to be bigger and bigger. So it kind of bring up inequality between students, which is not necessarily good. So shared ability grouping used in school. Let's talk about the weaknesses just a little bit. In short, if you do not use it, then you're actually being very unfair to high ability students because they can achieve more. But if you don't use it, you're kind of stopping them from achieving what they can actually achieve. If they can achieve 100 by not using this ability grouping, you are only giving them chance to grow to 80 instead of going up to 100. And of course, it causes inequality for low ability students because if you keep using it, then the gaps are going to be bigger. They're going to be more discouraged. So what do we do? Like what do we have to do? There are ups and downs. Do we just give up high ability students only because this causes inequality? Do we just keep doing it because high ability learners are going to achieve anyways, and low ability students are going to be whatever? So that's not what we want to do. So after I reviewed through all this, I think we should use ability grouping in school, but partially. So here's my way. So one of the ability grouping is cross-grade and subject ability grouping. So of course, you don't get to choose your own class only because you're a certain age or a certain grade. You just pick and choose your class based on your academic ability. So in this way, students can reach their full potential. So the high ability students are going to be able to work together in class. In one class, all these class students are going to be high ability learners. So they are going to be able to achieve way more. And if they are in low ability group class, they can still achieve more together as a class. And this is going to be beneficial for teachers too, because when teachers have to teach one class that has 30 students, like 5 of them are high ability, 5 of them are low ability, and the ranges of the class just teacher have to teach is huge, and that's very difficult to manage. So if they are in one group, one class with similar ability, then teachers can probably prepare based on like kind of in the middle. Like it's going to be way easier because teachers don't have to prepare for like wide ranges. And of course, it's gonna give less chance of unequal treatment from teachers because most of the students are gonna be good. Still, there's chance even within this one in one subject, one grade, if they have high ability learners all together, still there will be high of highs and low of low of highs, right? So um, as a administrator, we need to keep reminding. Um, I mean, to supervise our teachers, we need to keep reminding them that this is a tendency. It's not just you. It's a tendency. We need to keep thinking about it. And once in a while, it'll be really good if I, as an administrator, can give a little feedback to teachers. And yeah, so hopefully this was beneficial for you guys. And if you have any question, let me know. Thank you.